Welcome to my channel, where we may be dazed, but we are not confused. We are going to do a castle in the sky reading for the sign of Taurus. So the purpose of this reading is to examine a dream or a wish that you may have had in the past that may have seemed as if it was impossible to fulfill, or like it was just too far-fetched to actually come to pass. And we're going to look at some of the reasons why you may have had obstructions to this coming into your reality. And then we're going to look at some advice cards to try to see what type of energies that you need to align with in order to better your chances of making this dream come true. All right, so looking at the Rider-Waite that we have so far that's been laid out, it seems that the wish that you had was to walk away from some responsibilities that may have been kind of feeling like it was a heavy burden to bear, and just kind of let go and kind of be free. Now, I'm picking up that the person that this resonates with is a person that is in a position of authority, a person who is probably has some sense of material wealth abundance that's associated with this position of authority. And it's like this person, they didn't want to let go, or they didn't want to come into a completion. They didn't want to let go of something that might have prevented them from being in this energy of being basically the emperor, because that's what I see here under the deck. But this is a King of Pentacles energy, so that means that it's an emperor that has a person who doesn't want to show up with an emperor energy, but they want to show up with the King of Pentacles energy that doesn't have a lot of responsibility, that doesn't have to answer for anything really, that doesn't have to build and construct something of lasting significance, and that, just doesn't want to see an end to a cycle of kind of like this energy of just really enjoying the fruits of whatever they've been working for. They want to enjoy it, but they don't want to have to deal with the responsibility of it. So I'm hearing that phrase, heavy is the head that wears the crown. And I feel like this person is just tired of being heavy-headed. They want to be enjoying themselves. They want to be in the Three of Cups energy. And that's their wish. However, the obstruction is that is not for you. Okay, the number with that is 6, looking at the Wisdom Oracle. And what I'm getting from this is that, rejection is God's protection. So if you were a person that was in a position of authority, this is a person who probably, if you were in a business or something, you would be a manager or a CEO or some kind of executive, some type of person in leadership that is very well compensated as a result of that, or someone who has a lot of material wealth and abundance. And so on a social level, they are viewed as being in an emperor position. If you felt like you wanted to kind of abdicate some of the either social responsibilities or the actual literal responsibilities that you had within an environment, this is saying that you cannot do that. Like, you are in this position because you have a purpose or some type of role that you have to fulfill. And I'm really picking up, and this is not to be disrespectful in any way, because I feel like I'm kind of tiptoeing around it, but it just really seems like it's a sense of wanting to, not be responsible to, and there's this phrase also that goes that to whom much is given, much is required. And so it's almost like this energy of wanting to be given a lot, but not having to do a lot in that exchange, that dynamic of, you have a lot, so therefore you have more responsibilities, or you have more things that come along with that. Many times people who are very wealthy and they have a lot, sometimes you don't even know who they are. Like they'll blend in or they just kind of go on with life because they recognize that, there's so many responsibilities that go with that it kind of balances out a little bit. Sometimes, when a person may not have had a lot and they get a lot all of a sudden, then you tend to see that energy of like just kind of wastefulness and kind of wantonly throwing yourself around and throwing your weight around and whatever you have around in a way that is not reflective of being responsible with all that you've been entrusted with. I mean, I feel like this could include wasteful spending, splurging on things that are not necessary, not from a sense of like splurging in a way to kind of treat yourself and to be good to yourself. Because the reality is, if you have more funds, like a splurge for one person could be going to Starbucks, for another person, the splurge could be, taking a trip to Italy or something, it just depends on what your costs are and what you have the ability to pay based off of your cost of living. But if there's a sense of like, you're not being responsible, like budgeting or doing a proper accounting for what you have, or, being serious about all of the responsibilities that come along with maintaining that level of wealth or maintaining that level of lifestyle, then it becomes something that becomes very, you can sabotage yourself. It can lead to your own destruction where you end up losing everything in the end anyway. And, we've all heard those stories where people get a lot and then they just kind of waste it and it's gone. It's usually those people that I talked about earlier who have a lot of wealth and they kind of blend with others and they kind of go about life as usual, minus some obvious things, but they're too busy maintaining it because they have a lot more stuff to kind of worry about. More money, more problems. Hate to be cliche, but that applies as well. The truth, maybe it's the sad truth, is that a lot of times people realize that the more stuff you have, you really do have more issues and you don't get to enjoy it as much. And sometimes the happiest people, or the people that feel the most free, the people that feel the least burdens, are those who don't have a lot, because there's not a lot required of them as a social, political, almost spiritual, psychological contract with the greater collective, that if you're going to have all of this, then this is what you're also going to have to deal with. When you let all that go, then that energy can flow and you don't have to pay back all the energy, the currency that matches everything that you've accumulated. All right. So moving forward, the advice cards that you have here, let's take a look. We have the Canary. And I'd gotten this card with another reading earlier. It might have been the Cancer reading, I'm not sure. But and with that one, I also picked up Canary in the Coal Mine. So this could be, that might have some meaning to you. But it says, step forward now and sing your song. There is power in finding your voice. So I feel like what may be blocking you from this sense of feeling free is that you don't feel like you have the right to be who you are in the position that you're in. And so you feel like because you have to show up a certain kind of way, or there's a lot of responsibility or expectation. I'm looking at the Emperor card and it's very stern and, it's just this sense of, needing to always be the strong, stern, serious person to protect your money and protect yourself from conflict and issues with other people who, quite frankly, want what you have. You're not able to let your hair down and be free and just hang out amongst the commoners, just the regular people, and just kind of enjoy life in a way that you feel like you are not able to do because of the position that you're in. And this is saying that if you actually step forward, and you could be in your position, but allow yourself to kind of be who you are and find your voice within that Emperor position, then that might help to balance out some of that desire to just drop everything and keep the money and then have all the fun and keep the money, because it won't quite balance that way if you were to do that. The next card we have is Valiant Courage, and it says to take action with passion. So this is about maybe trying to infuse some passion in the things that you are doing in this Emperor position. So try to align yourself with either projects or business ideas or undertakings or whatever it is that actually make you feel as if you're passionate and that you care about it, and that you can find your voice in what you're doing. And you might have to exercise some courage in doing that, because it might be a little bit outside of your norm and you might have some pushback perhaps, but doing so might help to balance this energy out as well. Next, I have Cooperation instead of competition. And it says, what's yours is yours, and no one can take it from you. There is no need to compete, as there's an abundance for all. You have complete access to unlimited abundance for yourself and to share with others. With cooperative partnerships, you can accomplish anything. So I feel like this energy of feeling like you have to show up and be this very cold, stern person comes from always feeling like you're in the midst of competition. Most likely with this Five of Wands cards, from people who are trying to take your spot. And I feel like if you allow yourself to pick out things that give you passion or bring you passion, and to work within those frameworks or within those contexts, and also find your voice, that will actually change the energy a bit, because then you'll find, if you're working with people, or if you're over people or overseeing people or managing people, it will allow people who are in alignment with whatever your passion is, and they're going to actually do their best to help you because they actually believe in what it is that you're doing. That cuts out some of this competitive energy and this sense of needing to kind of rule with an iron fist because of the energies that are coming up against you, because it's not people trying to work with you. They're trying to get to where you are. So you got the underhandedness and the sabotaging and, all that stuff. So aligning yourself with your passion will call in people that are going to be aligned with your passion as well. And then it becomes a cooperative effort, because you're working for the same things, and everything will kind of fall into place a lot better. All right. So the next card we have is I Am Treasured. All right. And so this says, today I will look into the mirror, and as I adorn myself in jewels, I will remind myself that I too am treasured, shimmering like gold. Okay, so that's a lot to unpack just in that little bit. In the context of this reading, I feel like this is saying that as you are putting on your daily cloaking and your covering of who you are, cloaked in your wealth, in your position, in your material abundance, recognizing within yourself that you are just as important as what you put on in the mask that you wear in the world. Because when you're able to do that, and that allows you to be in both places, you can be in the world, but also not of it. You can recognize that this thing has value, importance. People recognize it. They treasure that. They recognize that. They even desire that. They might even want to come take this from me. But aside from that, whether I had that or not, I, as a person, still have value. I am still treasured as well. I am the biggest treasure of all. This is one thing that's external, but I am a treasure as well, as much as this is. And that will allow you to kind of put out a different vibe. And, people can pick that up too. That's the other thing. Like they can, just like people can smell fear and all that stuff, like they can pick up a sense of confidence or a sense that you value yourself. They can also pick up if you don't value yourself, but you have a lot of material abundance as well, because then they'll come for you and use that as a weakness against you to get to your material things. And so I feel like this would help also to balance out that desire to just drop everything and just kind of be free, but still have your money and be who you are, and think that that's going to attract people to you that will see you for who you are because you're not in a position of authority. I feel like the reason that you had the not for you card is because you would get more of the same. You would still get the same energies of people, because people would be coming after whatever funds or resources they believe that you have. It's not about lowering yourself or what you believe is lowering yourself off of a pedestal or a soapbox to try to fit in with the people that, you know, you don't usually engage with because of your position. It's about recognizing that you are a solid person no matter what environment that you're in, and that you treasure yourself as being that thing, and then you don't have to go externally to get that validation, and you can attract more authentic people, and you'll be able to recognize the more authentic people as well. All right, I hope that makes sense. The next card that I have is the Illumination card, and this is from the Peace Oracle. And just looking at the image here, the artistry, I'm picking up like burning the flame or burning the candle at both ends. I mean, I feel like this is saying, you know, that in the midst of your passions and what it is that you're trying to do, this fire that drives you, you don't want to actually be consumed by this fire. And I feel like that might be why you wanted to step away from some things. But I feel like if you are able to allow the challenges of being in two spaces almost at the same time, being in a position that people view as being so separate from them, but then also being so comfortable in yourself and sure in who you are, that will allow you to burn bright without burning out. Okay. So, and this was a little bit trickier for me because, you know, I am not in this position, but I'm trying to relay the message as best I can the way it's coming out. So the message says, look into nature and then you will see everything better. Albert Einstein. Stand in the spotlight of reality and see how far you have come. You have broken and expanded. You have consistently improved, adapted, quested, and bested yourself. You have reached, created, and held safe the hopes and dreams of the world. Ah, this brilliant life. Shine on. Let go of expectation and work with reality. A perceived fault is exposed. Embrace it as a strength. Turn a challenge into a learning opportunity. Work with who people are, not how you would like them to be. I am but a newborn, cradled in the arms of the universe, a perfect being who must learn how to walk, how to hurt, how to love without reservation. In the brilliance of this moment, I am whole and I am healed. Peace shines a light wherever I go. All right, so that is what I have for you for the sign of Taurus. I hope it was helpful and that it provided a little bit of insight as to what you could do to kind of maybe get back online with this desire that you may have had. Thank you for joining me on this channel where we may be days, but we are not confused. And until the next video, bye-bye.